What is up, fellow bench warmers? Welcome to your daily fantasy quickie. What is up, guys? Welcome to another quickie. My name is JJT with Komish Eric. How are you, Komish?
Doing well. Fine. Hi, guys.
Just want to shout out a commenter from our YouTube channel, Jaime Tiago. He says he likes our content and he likes the views that we share here. So shout out to you. Hope you keep on listening. Today, what happened today? Jimmy Butler. I told you, Jimmy Butler.
Jimmy Butler.
But lots of players out today. Just quickly before we dive into our actual topic, Joel Embiid returned, and that posed a challenge for the Anthony Melton owners. How do you deal with that? He only had 18 minutes, and he's been struggling.
Not really. I mean, again, we have different views about the Anthony Melton and what he should be doing for us to like him. So we differ in that. But struggling in the sense that he's not scoring 15, 16 points and all those things. But what you really want from him is maybe 1 to 2 3-pointers, couple of steals, some assists here and there. And I think he's been doing that before today. No, today, 17 minutes, but it was a blowout. I think he could have gotten 7 minutes more, 6 or 7 minutes more to 23 to 24 minutes. If you remember what happened at the start of the season, basically that would be him. He'll have bad games, really bad games, probably like today. Then he'll have good games to salvage on average his bad games. So probably 120, 130 range, something like that. It's still a hold for me, but definitely not
not
Melton. Yeah, I mean it's a hold, but not the Melton that you owners have been enjoying when so many injuries, when Harden was out, when Embiid was out, and everybody else was out.
Yeah, so Embiid returned, another big name returned today. Steph Curry returned, although surprisingly they lost the very depleted Phoenix Suns, who were without Chris Paul, without Booker, without Ayton. But those things happen. With Steph Curry's return, I guess Dante DiVincenzo is probably a drop, and it might, of course, Jordan Poole take a hit. Klay might take a hit. Clay's a little bit on fire the past few weeks without Steph. So although today he was still good, but he might take a hit there. And then what else? Ball returned. Well, he did not play, but he was.
He did not play. Yeah.
What's your take on Ball? Do you think he will still play?
I'm not as confident with Ball because just looking at the numbers, Paulo Banchero, Wagner is playing well. Now they have faults. They have shooting guards now. It's just I don't see enough minutes for him to be even top 100. Sorry to say, maybe outside.
We don't expect top 100.
No, most people I've been reading, and a lot of other people have been saying that he's not going to be top 50 anymore. He's probably going to be top 100. So that's what, because he was really high. He was really high when in its peak. And we remember we told you all guys that it's time to trade him, whether he gets injured or not. That was not going to last, and clearly we're here. I think I probably see him get the blocks there would be key. If he can get at least 1.3, 1.4, then he can stay in the top 120 maybe, but not good. I don't. He possibly drop a ball soon if the minutes, don't get to the 20-minute range.
Yeah.
But I'm not saying drop him now. I'm not saying drop him. We haven't seen him yet with a healthy lineup because he's been sick. So we have to see him back as in playing and see how the rotation goes, because it can go a lot of ways for Orlando. So right now, but I'm not optimistic that he can get enough minutes to stay afloat. You know,
Yeah, so those are the returnees. Other than that, there's really not much happening around the league. Jimmy Butler was a stud. Donovan Mitchell was a stud. Dame Lillard, Rozier starting to trend up a bit.
yeah,
For the past few games. Norm Powell was good. Mikal should be good. He was the only guy left there, probably from that starting five. But today we're gonna talk about some other players who you might be thinking whether these guys are worth holding on to, possibly being, should I trade these guys? Should I sell high on these guys? Should I buy low on these guys? Maybe we'll start off with one player who's been trending up as well. I didn't mention him here, but Kawhi Leonard. What's your thoughts on Kawhi? Sell, sell,
Kawhi is looking.
sell.
He's a sell. He's a sell. I don't think. I mean, for me, you sell at the right price. If
What's
you can
the
sell
right price?
high,
That's always the question. What's the right price?
no. If you can, Kawhi right now lately has been
Jimmy
like Kawhi
Butler
old.
or Kawhi?
Yeah, Kawhi or Jimmy Butler. That's a very good question. I would go Jimmy Butler. I would go Jimmy Butler with that. As much as we hate Jimmy Butler's constant rest and all of these things and soreness here and there, he's still number one. He's still a better fantasy player than Kawhi right now. I mean, per game. At this point, he's better. His role is more important in Miami than the Clippers. The Clippers are deeper, and schedule matters, so we have to check that also. And overall, bigger chance really for Kawhi to have a catastrophic injury than Jimmy. Jimmy's injuries will probably be sprained ankles and here and there, but Kawhi could have something more serious than that. So I probably go with Jimmy there.
So
But
how
Kawhi,
high would you accept for if you have Kawhi? How high would you accept?
anything top 50, I would be fine with it. Anything top 50, I would be fine. And I think at the way he's playing right now, that's what you should that's what you should ask for. We can't. Yeah, I know we think about him possibly getting injured, but like SGA, that's not a given. No, nobody knows what will happen. So you still have to have fair value. You just don't give him up for I don't know, on Fernie Simons or Bobby Portis or maybe those kinds of guys. Just find the fair value top 50 player. I'll be okay with it already.
Desmond
With Kawhi.
Bain.
Yeah, yeah, I will take that. I will take that. Desmond Bain actually is in my buy list. He's in a buy low list. Although I don't know if it's still low. He has improved significantly since the struggling first few games from the injury. His minutes have been down. So he's a buy low. Desmond Bain is a buy low. So if you can get him, replace Kawhi with Desmond Bain, I will happily do that. I will happily do that.
I guess pretty much a lot of these top 50 players are probably going to be over Kawhi. Brandon Ingram, still top 50 on averages, but injured.
Yeah, but injured. That was harder because Ingram is not really a durable guy. He's
Right.
always injured. He has always injured himself, so he might be replacing a problem with a problem. And Kawhi is a better player, so I'd rather stick with Kawhi.
Gobert,
Maybe.
who is 51 on average.
Yeah, I will take Gobert. I will take Gobert, but you have to be careful also. As we said, you have to look at what we are getting if it fits your team or not. Depends on if it fits your team. Yeah, Gobert is fine. Gobert is okay.
CJ, lastly, CJ McCollum.
No, CJ's. We'll talk about CJ later. I feel like he's a
We
little
can talk
still
about
high.
now. We can talk about CJ now. So
Yeah, I
no.
feel like CJ is 52, right?
Yeah.
CJ is 52
On
right
average,
now.
on average.
On average 52. On totals, I think he might be higher. Plus the fact that the past few weeks he's actually higher than that the past few weeks because Zion is out.
Yeah.
Zion is out. So he's actually top 30 something. Maybe even top 30 the past few weeks. He's scored 28, 26, 42, 40, 34 today, the other day. So it's been really hot. And Zion will come back eventually. Brandon Ingram should come back eventually. So when these guys come back, I think he'll settle around 60 or 65, maybe something like that. And if you can get him from for players in the range that where he is right now, which is top 35, top whatever, then I think you do that
But you'd
for
rather have
CJ.
CJ than Kawhi.
No, I don't. I'm not that high on CJ. I'm sorry. I prefer Kawhi. I prefer Kawhi there.
Right. Still, I think based from those options for Kawhi, the name value still has a little bit of edge.
Yeah.
He still has a little bit of edge based on the name value. Because CJ is top 50. Risk of getting injured a little lower, maybe. Um, if he settles at 60, we don't know. There's also always risk with Kawhi. I think, I'm not probably going to sell for CJ, but at least I'll be thinking whether I should get that deal or not. So CJ, as you mentioned, is a sell high. Klay, maybe.
Klay is another player
We'll talk about the sell
in our list.
highs sell guys first.
Yeah.
And or discuss about those before we talk about some of the buy lows. Klay Thompson is in our list. With Curry back, maybe scaled down on the minutes. What's Klay's rank right now?
Klay is not that high overall for the season, but for the past week or so,
69. He's 69.
Yeah, but the 69, yeah, 69 on average. But the past weeks has been when Steph went out, he went up to the top 30 again where he was before. So that is high, and he has name value. But of course, if you're playing in a league where people know stuff, they know Steph Curry's back and everything, you might not be able to do what you want to do, which is sell high. You should have sold him earlier.
But I think there's some value about Klay that maybe will not be seen in his ranks, right? Even whatever his rank is, I think he is probably the best 3-point specialist in the league.
Buddy Hield has something to say about that, but I think he is among the top. He's among the
Buddy
top
Hield is somehow, I think he has reached that level wherein he's above Klay already, based on all the metrics. Like the other categories, I think Buddy Hield wins those.
But a Klay for Buddy Hield deal that can pass in some leagues. I mean that can happen.
That will.
I mean, if you have Klay and you want to replace him with Buddy Hield, that is possible. You can do that. You can try to swing that.
Buddy Hield is 45.
Yeah, you can try to swing that because Buddy Hield still doesn't get the same respect as Klay has. But if you look at the stats of Klay, really, it's the 3-pointers that's carrying him. It's really the 3-pointers.
He has that's why I said he's probably the best specialist, 3-point specialist in the league.
He doesn't steal as much. No, he doesn't steal as much anymore. He doesn't turn the ball over though, as much as the other scorers, so that helps. So yeah, for me, Klay is lacking a lot of things in his game nowadays. So I would probably look.
But he can probably carry you in that category. In the threes, at least.
Probably, yeah. But that we saw that he did that with Steph out. Steph has been back for one game. So let us and Andrew Wiggins was also out for a long time also, and he's just back for the past 2 games. So those numbers will fall for Klay. Those numbers will fall. I mean, 4 3-pointers is helped by that. Wiggins averages a lot of 3-pointers. Steph averages a lot of 3-pointers also. So I think Klay would inevitably, go down the ranks.
Remember, the early season Klay was, almost droppable. Almost.
I don't think it reached that point, but he was bad. He was bad.
He was bad because he was missing the back-to-backs and lots of issues there. We mentioned Buddy Hield. Do you think he's a sell high at 45?
Yes, 45. The problem with Hield is, though, as you said, the 3-pointers that he gives with the steals. 3-pointers that he gives with steals. That's hard to find. No, and that's very valuable. So selling him might alter your team a lot. No, might change your team a lot. So you have to be really elite in threes to even try to sell him. That's just my advice to people. When you sell somebody who's elite in some category, that he might be carrying you, as Jeremy said, in that category, and selling him even for a player, even if the player is better or whatever, might hurt you a lot because your 3-pointers might become so weak. So be careful with that. Just check who you could replace him with, I
Right.
guess.
But the
But
season numbers of Buddy Hield have been really good. I mean,
it's good.
45% field goal,
Yeah.
86% free throw, almost 4 threes per game, 18 points, almost 5 rebounds per game. This is what I'm saying. He's somehow evolved a bit to contribute in the other categories. Almost 5 rebounds a game, or 2.7 threes, and 1.1 steals, 1 steal per game. Turnovers aren't as bad, 1.8. They're okay, but overall he's been quite good.
Yeah, but realistically, at his rank right now, who can you get for him that you would be? I mean, Desmond Bain is probably one, but I mean, there's very
Levine,
few options.
but the name
Who?
value, the problem with Buddy Hield is that he doesn't have that name value in that category, in that range, right? Even if
Yeah,
he ends up there by the end of the season, even if he ends up 40, next year he'll probably be drafted like 50, 60s, or even lower. Just because people would think it's a fluke. It's just one season. The name value isn't there. So it's going to be hard to sell him high for maybe players like Zach Levine,
yeah,
right?
yeah. That's not gonna
Uh,
happen.
right?
That's not gonna
Garland, who
happen.
is 43 in rank, right? Uh,
That might be closer.
but it's
At
going to
the
be
way
hard
they're
to pull that off.
yeah, but that's still more possible than the way Levine is playing now. Might be hard, but yeah, it's hard to pull that off. So not much,
It's
not
hard to
much
pull that off
options.
in name value. Just because of the name value of Buddy Hield, you won't get that type of deal. Just because when people see it, it's Buddy Hield. Why should I give you my Garland for Buddy Hield?
Actually, a guy that is probably in our buy low list is Robert Williams. He's 62nd here, Robert Williams. He moved up a little bit the past. We didn't say you sell him high when he was about to come back, because I said you can sell him for a top 30 guy or top whatever guy, because that's where he was, and people still had this illusion that he can be that this year. I still think he overall, now that we've seen him, I think Robert Williams looked good. No, looks good overall. I think he's gonna be a top 50 guy at the very least this year eventually. So if you like, let's say you have Buddy, you need big guy stats, and you cannot get a name value guy like Gobert. Maybe you cannot get him because, as Jeremy said, harder
The
to
name
flip
that, yeah.
Buddy. Robert Williams is somebody that is worth considering. Now I think his numbers will increase. It will improve the blocks, the steals that will come back, and hopefully plays back to back soon. Maybe that when February comes or something. So yeah,
Last one for Buddy Hield, John Collins, 54.
no, I'll stick with Buddy. I'll stick with Buddy.
Right, so at least we know
Collins,
his name is
Co-
a little
yeah,
above those guys.
but Collins for me is actually a sell high guy at 54, and the way he's playing lately is a sell high guy. When Capella comes back, you'll have to really pray that Collins gets traded to a team that would showcase him, would play him, no, would feature him, would give him the chances, because he's gonna be traded. He wants to be traded. Atlanta wants to trade him. It's just his contract is hard to trade. So he can easily be traded to Utah, have to share minutes with Laurie,
Yeah.
heals his value. So Collins is a sell high. He's a prime sell high guy.
Yeah, so at least you get the picture of what Buddy Hield's and John Collins' value is. Jaren Jackson Jr. Let's talk about Jaren Jackson Jr. for a bit. 12, I think, currently on average.
Yeah.
Sell high.
Okay, here's the deal. Who can you sell Jaren Jackson Jr. high for? That's the question. If you think you can get a first rounder for him,
No. Second rounder?
maybe, but he's a second rounder. He's a second rounder. I'll give
No,
him
no.
that.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. I think I know we know he's a second rounder, but we're sure he wasn't picked in the second round.
Yeah.
So pretty much that's selling high.
Well,
or is that the same thing?
no, for me it's not the same thing. I mean,
If
you
you do
sell
that,
high.
you'd rather not sell.
At this point, we should not look at draft positions anymore. At this point, you have to look at the rest of the season. You sell high in hopes that that player will in anticipation of that player dropping, and then the player you get going to the level of the player you traded for. Like let's say Jaren
Here,
Jackson,
James
second round.
Harden, for example.
James Harden, yes, that's a sell high. That's a sell high. I think that fits.
But would you rather
Harden and
have James
Jackson.
Harden than or Jaren Jackson Jr.?
At this point, to be honest, it's a matter of preference. The steals and blocks of Jackson is just too elite for me, while Harden's assists is also elite for me. So it's a matter of team need. No, Jaren Jackson Jr. has been that good this season. It's team need, and the answer to that would be whatever your team needs. But for me, Jaren Jackson is top 20, at the very least top 25. The rest of the season. So if you want to tell me that I sold Jaren Jackson high, you have to tell me that you got somebody like Tyrese Haliburton, who I think is top 12. No, this is higher. He's higher than higher than.
Haliburton is 7th in averages.
The point is, you have to give me a real top 12 guy. Donovan
KD,
Mitchell, Kyrie
who's
Irving.
injured.
Who?
KD.
Oh yeah, KD is a sell. Yeah, KD, that's sell high.
Who's
KD
an injured KD.
Yes.
Because
yes.
It's hard to pull off that, first round guy sell high, especially if you think that Jaren Jackson is a second round top 20 guy, right? You can pull off a Harden, which we talked about, that might be the guy that you might want to sell because we don't know if he's going to be healthy and all that. That's an easier move to pull, but given that we said that, we're not sure as well if Harden can sustain this or he can be healthy throughout the season, then there's risk there. So it's not going to be the Haliburton owner would probably not accept a Jaren Jackson deal unless you put in maybe a +1 there.
Maybe
+1. So
maybe
you'll probably pick, who are the possible buy low in that category in the first round. And KD is probably the biggest buy low there in the sense that he's injured. He's going to be out for 4 weeks or more. We don't know, right? So would that be a trade that probably if you had KD would be open to doing?
If I have KD and I'm like in the borderline, like 8, 7, 9, yeah, I might consider that because I might not make the playoffs if he's gonna be out long. If I have Jaren Jackson Jr., I will do that. I mean, if KD comes back healthy by the playoff time,
that's the perfect marriage in trading.
You have the best player in fantasy, so it's something like that, a deal like that. But outside of that, the Haliburton deal, Haliburton for Jaren Jackson, is closer than what people think it is. No, it's closer, but I understand.
Again, like I said, the name
you have to add the +1
as well.
But JJJ, if he continues to have games like this, he will reach that Haliburton level soon because our listeners, fantasy managers, they observe, they see, they research, so they can see that JJJ is having a step up to a superstar level already this season.
Because I think, like you said, it's a need for need type of thing, right? If you trade, that's a major change. If you trade, let's say JJJ for Haliburton, that's your assist. You lose your assist if you are parting ways with Haliburton. You lose some threes, you lose some scoring, maybe a little steals, but you're gonna upgrade in blocks. Maybe a little rebounding. Rebounding is probably equal, right? The free throws might be right, but you're right. It's closer. If you think about it, it's closer than many people think. Many people would.
It's closer. Even scoring is close enough. Jaren Jackson has already increased his scoring. Haliburton has decreased his scoring. So it's closer. It's closer than what people think.
Yeah. So Jaren Jackson, I think this is the most interesting player that we've talked about. The rest of the sell high guys, Thomas Bryant. Yeah.
Well, Thomas Bryant is a clear sell high. That's obvious. LeBron is another player we've talked about that you should sell high. And for me, guys like LeBron, selling him for, let's say, LaMelo, I know it's hard, but
that's not gonna work
within the ballpark. If you want something that's easier to do, it's DeJounte. No, it's DeJounte. LeBron DeJounte. DeJounte is top 20, still top 25, even if he's struggling.
But so, LeBron's top 20.
I think,
okay, LeBron's top 20.
Yes. LeBron is a sell high. Now, if you guys look at other sell highs, I'll just give some examples fast. Christian Wood is, for me, a prime sell high guy. The contract extensions are not going anywhere with Dallas. They will trade him, and they said they might trade him if he doesn't agree to a contract extension. That matters, because if he moves to a contender that has a deeper team, it's all, whatever. He's number 2 right now in Dallas. He's probably going to be number 4 or whatever he gets traded. So that's a big sell high for me. So Christian Wood. And then you mentioned Killian Hayes.
No,
you mentioned the lower end players. Killian Hayes. I think Killian, at the level he's playing right now, is a sell high. At the level he's playing right now, ever since the suspension, that's a sell high level for Christian Wood.
Westbrook, a sell high.
Westbrook is a sell. Yes, Westbrook is a sell high. I have another guy, Laurie. Laurie is top 15. I love Laurie, but I still don't trust Utah. I just don't trust Utah. I don't know. There's still a little part of me. I not trust them as much as the Spurs, but there's still a little part of me that feels like there could be some tanking or some resting, not tanking, some resting that may happen. They may trade. So he's top 15. If you can get a top 15 first, second rounder, higher end players, Laurie is also a player you can sell high at this point.
Laurie Markkinen. Lastly, baby, Jalen Duren.
This is something
to sell
just for me. Yeah, I think he's a sell high. He's not. If you look at the ranks, he's low. He's 180 something. There's a reason for that. He actually doesn't block that consistently yet.
Yeah.
I know he's gonna get
more field goal and rebounds.
Not a field goal, data point. Yeah. I do think he will be unleashed, but actually he's already unleashed. This is what he is, right? This season, at least. He's gonna improve a little, but this is it. When he was coming off the bench, you were saying, when he gets 25 minutes, 30 minutes, sky's the limit. But now we have the data. We have seen him be given the minutes already. No matter how much they want to develop him, they're not going to give him 40 minutes a game. They're not going to give him 35 minutes a game. He can't take that. So this is where he is right now as a rookie. But people will overvalue him because they'll think, oh, this guy, when Detroit is tanking, is good, whatever, it's going to get, whatever, it's going to explode like Sengun last year.
You're going to give him
so you can
more
take
minutes.
Advantage of that. Yeah, you can take advantage of that.
I think we've had more sample size already, a big sample size already of Jaren Duren. And this is it. That's it. He's a rebounding specialist at the least.
Rebounding, points, maybe points.
Field goal.
Field goal.
Yeah. That's
he
it.
Can block, but he can block.
But
he's
not to the rate of Jakob.
Kessler.
Not to the rate
of
Kessler. Right?
Yes.
Not at that rate.
No, not.
So it's not elite. Not even close to average. His blocking skills. What's his
not yet
average blocks? Like I don't think he does
we're
one.
Not saying he's. Yeah, he doesn't. We're not saying he's not gonna reach that. We're not saying he's not gonna be a 2 block per game guy, 1.5.
But he's not gonna reach that this season. Yeah,
not
you're right. He's not gonna reach that this season.
Not this season.
Some buy low. How about some buy low guy? I mean, the perfect trade has always been the sell high. The perfect marriage in the trade has always been that sell high. When sell high meets buy low type of deal, right? Someone selling high and then someone trying to buy low on certain players. That's where trades usually happen. Rarely do trades. Well, trades do happen on an equal footing, equal level, but like I said, the perfect trade that benefits probably the quote unquote one-sided trade that would not look one-sided. That's the That's the buy low, sell high combination. So who are the buy low? Darius Garland struggling, but he is, what's his average now? Top 40. He's
No,
top
no, he's not in the
43.
top
He's
40.
43 averages.
Yeah, but he's not in the top 40. And the past few weeks is definitely not in the top 40. So if you look at buy low, sell high, you actually also have to look not just the season
He
average,
is
but uh you can look at the last
sixth.
14 days.
Yeah, last
Last
last 2 weeks has been 130. Way
Yeah.
way up.
So yeah, he's been overshadowed by Donovan. His thumb is hurt. We know that. We talked about that. So there are a lot of issues there that can the thumb should heal. We don't hear anything anymore right now, so maybe it's healing. When he gets fully healthy, then he'll be back to his old self at least. Of course, the Donovan thing won't go away, but he will be better as the season goes along. And we have known that with Garland. He gets better, especially at the end of the season. There are players who are good at the start. There are players good at the end, and Garland is one of those that has a better second half usually. So yeah, he's a buy low, especially if you can get him. If your league is really newbie leagues, maybe you can
What type
get him
of
for Killian.
what type of get him for Killian?
Well, I mean, there are people who might think that hey, Killian's 25 points, 10 assists, or whatever. He's Detroit's number one guy. So yeah, maybe you think of Killian. Yeah, but I think Buddy Hield we talked about a while ago. I would do that. I would get Garland for Hield.
Yeah.
Who else? McCollum. McCollum is another guy. You said talk about sell high or buy low. I think that's a player I would gladly switch. John Collins is another. So these guys, I feel like will match Garland.
Yeah.
In trade talks.
A player Commish likes a lot, Alperen Sengun. Where is Sengun at this point? I mean,
Sengun
it's obvious that I
is
don't have Senguns here. But yeah,
79.
Sengun is 82 in the last month, but past couple of weeks, 130 something.
And I'll tell you why. I talked about Duren already getting the minutes. I think Sengun's minutes can still go up. I think he's still not consistently getting the minutes. The last two games, he's gotten 35 and 32, and you see what he's done. 18-8-2, 20-14-3, you see that. But before that, he gets 22, 26 minutes, his numbers goes down. He gets 17 minutes, gets in foul trouble or whatever. So whenever he gets the minutes, he does well. Whenever he gets less minutes, the numbers go down. So it's just a matter of really giving him minutes. And right now, Houston, it's not yet silly season, it's not yet tanking season. So there's still no incentive. They're still trying to win, in other words. By February, by March, I think the minutes will creep up, will be more consistently there. So I think he can get to the top 60, probably top 50. So that's why I still am high on Sengun, especially if his owner, especially if he gets a string of bad games. Right now, it's probably going to be hard because he had two good games already. You wait because he's definitely going to have some bad games coming up.
Wait a little bit more.
Yeah.
Scottie Barnes is another buy low for Commish. What's Scottie Barnes' rank?
80 something. I think he's close to 90. 86. 86. Scottie Barnes is 86. I have a different take on Scottie Barnes. I know he's struggling, but if you can get him for this range, let's say MPJ is in this range, Josh Hart is in this range. I mean, Marcus Smart is in this range. A lot of players are in this range, and even PJ Washington is higher than him. Toronto.
Realistically, who's the guy that you would probably would you willing to get?
Klay.
For Scottie Barnes.
Klay.
Because there's name value there.
There's name value with Klay. I would be happy to trade Klay and Fernie Simon. Don't dismiss Fernie Simons, let's say, for Scottie Barnes. People will do. Scottie Barnes has been struggling. He has had games like
Yes.
today where he was really bad. So the Anthony Simon, Scottie Barnes, that could work.
Yeah.
So I would do that. I would do that because I really think that when the Raptors are already way below the play in or a lot of games behind, they
They're
might
gonna
do moves. I already said it a lot
they're
of
gonna
times. They
trade
could be one of the
everyone.
teams that could make trades. Maybe not everyone, but for sure, if you're down already, you will not showcase Fred VanVleet. You will not showcase Gary Trent. No, so Scottie's role eventually would increase with Toronto.
Yeah, so that's Scottie Barnes. Dame is a buy low.
A little, a little by low in the first round level. I think he's actually not in the first round. I think in the ranks wise, if I'm looking at it correctly, he's around
Jaren
18,
Jackson for
17,
Dame work for you.
23. He's 23. Okay. Yeah,
Jaren Jackson for Dame. Would that work for you?
that will work. That will work.
Uh,
I think here's the
it's a
thing. JJJ, just between all of us, has a bad playoff schedule. He has a bad playoff schedule. So, really bad. I mean, the first week is 2 games. So, even if he has 2 steals, 3 blocks in those 2 games, it might not be that big of a difference. This is head to head. Quantity, more games is better all the time. So, a Dame has a 4 game, 3 game, I think, something like that. So, yeah, sure.
yeah.
I'll do Lillard.
I think that's a good criteria already. If you're trying to sell
Yeah.
Jaren Jackson, I think that playoff schedule could be something that you have to consider already at this point.
If you
Unless
follow our playoff schedule, let's put a disclaimer.
yeah, if your playoff schedule is
Maybe the
week
playoff
20
schedule.
to 20 week 20 ours is week 20, right?
Yes,
20,
2022.
21,
Yes,
22, right?
22.
But if you have other playoff schedules, then you have to check which teams have
Yes.
better games or schedule in those playoffs. Um, quickly, Evan Mobley, another buy low. Walker Kessler, maybe a buy. Walker Kessler, maybe a buy low.
No, Walker
This
Kessler probably a buy because I
yeah,
own Walker Kessler, and to be honest, people can't pry him away from me because so much. I have such a high value of him. I think a lot of Walker Kessler managers are the same thing. They have a high inflated value of Walker Kessler, so might not be a buy low, but might be a buy.
because he's a
Might be a
one
buy.
category. He's if people are high on Jalen Duren, Walker Kessler people will probably be higher on Walker Kessler because he's
Yeah.
one category ahead of Jalen Duren. I think the rebounding Duren can out rebound Kessler, but it's the blocks really that's enticing for Kessler. The elite blocks category or at least elite blocks that he gives, and I think that's the biggest push that Walker Kessler has. Against Jaden.
I think there was a post that he blocks more than Rudy Gobert. The block rate also is higher than Rudy Gobert this
Well,
season. So
we talked about
yeah, the
Rudy
hype there
Gobert a lot.
is something. Yeah, and Kelly Olynyk is gonna be out for a while.
Yeah.
With an ankle thing. So this is not the right time to buy low. I don't think you can buy low on Walker Kessler at this point. With Olynyk out, he's starting. His value is gonna go through the roof. So
No,
maybe
the
not. But
question
he's a
now
buy
is
for
that
me if you can buy him.
the question now is he sell high now?
That is a good question. Um, for me, actually, I sold him in one league because I have so many blocks there. I have JJJ there. I have JJJ. I have Jabari. I have blockers there. So I have Potal there. I sold Walker Kessler for Huerter, which I think is a little. I mean, that's good, right? Huerter is in the 70s, 60s. Even if it goes down, I think still
yeah. I
still
mean,
okay.
that's a name value wise, people would probably think Kevin Huerter. You just got Kevin Huerter for Walker Kessler. But I think it's also a need thing, right? It's different stat set. You probably don't need Walker Kessler, so your value, Commission's value for Walker Kessler is a little lower than maybe other managers' value because he doesn't need the block. So I need the threes, and for that a deal to work, that's probably the name that you can get, or you can.
I think it's a good deal.
It's a good deal. I'm not saying it's a bad deal, but
no. I understand, but 68 Kevin Huerter. I think actually Huerter is a sell high, but for the fact that I will get him for a Walker Kessler, who I think is 100 something, I think that's decent. For Huerter. Yeah, you're correct. It's really needs space. You need threes. You need a little
need
steals.
base. People would think, is that really a sell high? Just because it's Walker is Kevin Huerter. There's no name value, no trade value. The trade value there is not as good. The name value is not as good. So people would think, oh, that's not a good deal. That's Kevin Huerter, but it's a needs base. Like we said, your value of a player becomes lower if you don't really need that player. So you just find someone that you probably need, a stat set that you probably need, and just get it, and then just see what value you can get. Anyone higher probably won't work.
Yeah.
It would be a very long negotiation if you try to get anyone higher. So, yep. All right, that's it. Cam Johnson is the last one on our buy list in case he's still lying around the waiver. I think he's closing in on that, 6 weeks?
Closing in. Yeah, he's closing in. And they would need him. Nobody has gotten that power forward position away from him. So if he's cheap, if he's free, in a way he's free, he's just in your waiver. Yeah. Just add him.
Add him at this point and stash him in your IL slot. All right, that's it for today's quickie. Interesting discussions once again. Hope you enjoyed this. Hope you liked it, and hope it helped somehow help you understand some player values, some moves that you might be thinking of making. And as always, please follow us on our socials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow us on Twitter. Follow us on Facebook. Lots of stuff there on Facebook going on as well. And with that, we'll see you guys again tomorrow for the daily fantasy. Bye, guys. Good night.